Today's tutorial is about how to become a parasite on the planet. Even though our host, also known as a planet, only has limited resources, make sure you suck it dry by supporting the biggest rapists on the planet, the meat and dairy industry. Forget the fact that due to deforestation, more than 90 indigenous tribes have been wiped out since the early 1900s. Or if all the grains that are now fed to livestock in the US were fed to people instead, it could feed over 800 million people. Or that 7 football fields of Amazonian rainforests are being bulldozed every single minute to make room for farmed animals and for the crops that feed them. Sustaining grass-fed animals for the entire population would take about 10 planets. So eating and promoting this way of eating is highly recommended. Having a conscience as a parasite will not serve you well, so for best results, just ignore the facts and suck, suck, suck on the planet's dry, cracked, bloody nipples. Don't you dare consider getting rid of your penis extension. After all, bicycles and small cars are for pussies. Just ignore the fact that your Hummer spews out 3 times more CO2 than a minivan and also uses 3 times more gas. Investing in a Hummer is a great idea because one day you may just have to go to war in it, on the highway. Luckily, the metal is so thick that if you were to hit someone else on the highway, you will be right and that other sucker has little chance for survival. Remember, every person for themselves.
With each person wanting more and more stuff, oil became the resource worth fighting for all around the world.
The planet obviously has a shortage of people consuming its resources, so it's time to step up and deliver. There may be millions of children needing homes, and adoption may be an option, but to heck with that, you need to spread your seed.
Way back in 1950, when my parents were born, there were 2.5 billion people on this planet. By the time I arrived in 1985, this had doubled to 5 billion people. Today, there are roughly 7 billion, and by the time I'll retire, it's expected to be around 10 billion people. That means that it took from the beginning of humanity 200,000 years ago until 1950 to reach 2.5 billion people, but it will only take 100 more years to add 3 times that amount. In other words, the population is growing exponentially. Let me put it differently. By the time you've reached the end of this video, about 300 people have been added to the planet. In an hour from now, there will be 8,500 more people, and this time tomorrow, we'll have 200,000 new Pride and Joy. 1.4 million per week and 76 million per year. And when there are more people, there are more mouths to be fed. In fact, there's more demand for all the stuff that we need to live. Energy, water, food, and space.
To really fulfill the role of a good parasite, you gotta buy shit you don't need.
Give me the couch, the wig, the tiny beans, the radio, the CDs, the fucking shoes, all the stuff all the time that you can't get away from.
Make sure you invest your money in the latest perfume from JLo because you probably stink pretty bad from the parasitic diet you're eating. Recycling and reusing things is a bad idea if you want to stay an A-grade parasite. So make sure you adopt the process of use, dispose, forget.
Americans have been advertised at longest, and they now each consume twice as much energy as the Europeans, 9 times more than a Chinese person, 15 times more than an Indian, and 50 times more than someone from Kenya. If all 6.5 billion people here on Earth consume like Europeans or Japanese, we'd need 2 more planets worth of resources. If everyone consumed like Americans, Australians and Canadians, we'd need another 4. And in 2040 or so, when there's about 9 billion of us, we'll need 2 more again. With profit the only measuring stick, destroying the planet is written into the system.
Be a good redneck parasite and label anyone trying to make a difference in the world as a tofu-eating, tree-hugging, organic farming dirty hippie. Throwing your Mac shit rubbish on cyclists as you drive by in the car is highly recommended. If someone tries to save your life and the lives of animals by educating you on the power of plant foods, make sure you call them self-righteous arseholes. Fuck those pricks, how dare they try to help? If people in your area want to save 1,000-year-old redwood trees, call them stupid tree huggers and beat them to a pulp.
Earth. Healthy, strong, and full of life. But wait, what's that you've got there? It looks like you've got a case of the humans. To be a healthy Earth, all of your elements must be in equilibrium. However, these parasites slaughter all other forms of life. Guzzle your natural resources. And poison your atmosphere. Once contracted, humans act quickly. They multiply over 300,000 a day, consuming anything that crosses their path. Earth is just the start. Who knows what's next?